Hello everyone! Today I'm making soap right here in my kitchen. I'm using the cold process method, which means that I will be combining some fats and oils with lye, and I will get wonderful mild moisturizing soap with it. Homemade soap is really good for you. It doesn't have any extra harmful chemicals that store-bought soaps have, and it's usually very good for you if you have eczema, you have allergies, sensitive skin, then homemade soap is something you definitely should try. If you think about soaps that are sold in stores, they have a long list of ingredients, but most of those are chemicals that are just extra. Chemicals that enhance lather or enhance texture or something like that, and you really don't need them. All you need is natural ingredients. So, let me show you what you need in order to make soap right in your kitchen. The first thing that you will need is a pot in which you combine your fats and oils and also later on your lye water. You need something to stir your oils and fats with. Here is my pot, and as you can see there are some fats and oils here. These are all vegetable. What I have in here I will tell you later. I will actually show you my recipe later on. And obviously you need a stove, which I have right here. You need some molds in order to pour your soap into these molds. I have this wonderful silicone mold. I love these little ring cakes of soap that I will get. Silicone molds are really good for this. You don't have to line them, you don't have to spray them. They are great to use just as they are. Another thing here is a Pringles can. These are really great as soap molds. And what I have done with this mold is, or actually this can, I have cut off the end here. Let me show you this one. Here it is. I have cut this off, and the reason why I cut it off is because of this part right here. This is, it looks to me like it might have some aluminum in it, and you can never have lye or your raw soap touch anything that has aluminum or Teflon, because it will react with those. So I cut this off. Let me actually put that away. I cut this off and I replaced it with some wax paper and lots of rubber bands. So I'm gonna stand it like this, and I'm gonna pour my soap in. And you don't actually have to do anything for the inside, it's okay as it is. And this gives wonderful round bars of soap. So Pringles can is a really nice way to have a mold in case you don't have any soap molds or anything like that. You need, for the molds, you need some towels. After you have poured your soap into the molds, you need to insulate them by putting some towels on top. I have a digital thermometer, and all I need to do is take this little stick and put it in either my oils or my lye water, and it will give me a reading of the temperature. But more about those temperatures later. You need a stick blender in order to blend together the lye water and also the fats and oils. What I mean is you will, oops, doesn't want to stay there. So what I mean is that you will actually mix together lye and oils, not them separately. You need a digital scale here. A digital is best because you're handling lye, and you want to put the exact needed amount of lye in here. You don't want to put any more than that. So as good a scale as you can get. And in here I have just measured my fats and oils. You can see it's still wet from the fats and oils. So something to measure your fats and oils with. You also need lye. Here's my container. It has all the safety precautions there, and it's just white pellets inside. Lye is highly caustic, so you need to be very careful with that. But I will tell you more just in a minute after I've shown you all of this stuff. I have this container for measuring my lye, so I will put this container on my scale and measure the lye. This is for mixing the lye water. This is a heavy-duty plastic spoon. And I will be mixing my lye water in this container. You need to have something very kind of heavy-duty in order to put your cold water in and then pour your lye in here. And because it gets really hot and lye is also caustic, it needs to be very heavy-duty plastic, this container where you mix your lye water. I also have some essential oils here. This is a fun thing. I'm going to be making tar soap today, And tar is a very popular scent here where I live. We have all kinds of tar products here. So I will be making tar soap, and I will be using this essential oil, which is eucalyptus essential oil mixed with real tar. So I'm going to use that. And if that's not enough, I think it will be, but in case I have some eucalyptus essential oil over there. I have a spatula for scraping my soap into the mold after I have made it. And something I suggest you have some toilet paper in there, because if you get a spill of raw soap or something anywhere, you can quickly take some toilet paper and wipe it off and put it in your trash. And make sure you have your trash open and ready for you to drop things in there. I also have some wheatgrass powder, which I will be using to color the soap, possibly. It depends on what kind of coloring this tar essential oil thingamajig will give me. If this will make it brown, then I probably will not add any wheatgrass, simply because it won't color it anymore after that. You need some vinegar. The vinegar neutralizes lye. So if you have a spillage, if you spill lye onto yourself, quickly pour some vinegar on it, and it will neutralize it, and then rinse it with cold water. And one hint to give is, when you have your vinegar, make sure you've actually opened the bottle so that you can easily open it. I'll show you what I mean. Often they have these little tabs in them that you have to pull off before it opens. And that's what I had in my vinegar bottle as well. So just as a hint, make sure you pull all the tabs away so that you can easily yank it open if you need it. And let me think. I'm not coloring my soap with any other than the wheatgrass, possibly. That's going to be a natural colorant. These are some of my oils, but I've already put them in here. And then some of the safety gear. You need goggles because lye is caustic and you definitely want to protect your eyes. You need heavy-duty gloves. These are just heavy-duty kitchen gloves. You need a long-sleeved shirt and long-sleeved pants and socks on you. Tie your hair away from your face. And make sure that you have as little bare skin as possible, because if you happen to spill lye or raw soap on yourself, then your clothing will protect you. Also, I always like to make sure that I have a ready route and passage to my shower. If I get a bigger spill on me, then I really need to hurry to some cold water and rinse it all over me. So that's what I need to do. But I would like to say that I've been working with lye a lot and I've never had any accidents because I'm very careful with it. You don't have to fear lye, you just have to respect it. That means that whenever I'm, for example, measuring lye, I'm always using my gloves. I've seen people on YouTube measuring lye without gloves, and that scares me. Never do that. Always use gloves. It's a really small price to pay for safe skin. So, and when I do this, I always put my lye container very close to the container I'm putting it into. And when I work with this, I very slowly take the lye and very slowly put it in here, just to minimize any possible spillage. So respect lye, but don't fear it. You can very well work with it. So now that I have shown you everything that you need in order to make soap, I am going to start measuring out my lye, and I'll be back soon. Okay, so what I have done now is I've measured my water. You will see later on in the recipe how much I have in there. I put it in a cold water bath here. I'm wearing all my safety gear, and I have measured my lye. I'm going to pour my lye into this water now, and I'm going to stir it. I want to melt all the lye crystals into this water. It gives out some fumes, which you can probably see, and those fumes, you don't want to breathe them. This is why you usually want to do this outside or in a really well ventilated place. I have all my windows and doors open right now. If you breathe in these, they will make you cough. So if you hear me coughing, that's it. I'm just going to go and get some fresh air, but I'll be right back if that tends to happen. I'm pretty susceptible to these fumes, but really it's not that bad. But anyway, I'll be doing that right now. So let's go on. So here is my container with the lye. And I'll dip in my my spoon first because it had some lye crystals in there. I'm pouring in. I usually pour everything in right away because I want to minimize the time that I'm spending here. Getting all the little crystals from there. And now immediately, I'm going to rinse that very soon, but I'll mix this first. As you can see, it gets very cloudy. It can even bubble. It can actually bubble and boil. But you want to get all the lye crystals mixed in, and it will start getting transparent when that happens. You can probably see some fumes coming in from it. Yep, and they got me too a little bit. Just taking breathers a little bit away. Like I said, not everyone is having a hard time with these fumes. As hard a time as I'm having. Okay, I think that's pretty well mixed right now. So I'm going to rinse this container and pop in my thermometer, and then I'll be back. So now I have just plopped my measuring little needle into the lye water. It is at 159 Fahrenheit. I need to get it down to 120. And I also need to get my oils, which are here. They are melting slowly. I want to get them to 120 as well. I have this stove on very low heat because I don't want these to overheat. That happens very quickly. So anyway, letting them continue melting in there, and also the lye water coming down in temperature. As you can see, it really comes down fast. It's already 156. But let me show you my recipe right here when we have a little moment waiting for these temperatures. First, please notice that this was made, let me see, I'll try to prop it in a very good spot. There we go. This was made at Soap Calc. I will put the link in the info box, and please excuse these little drops here. They are oil. I've dropped some oil in there. This looks very complicated, but it's not complicated at all. All you need to input is your oils and your fats. And over here you can see that in this recipe I'm using olive oil, coconut oil, and palm oil. You can use all kinds of oils. One soap that I like is olive oil soap, 100% olive oil soap. It's not for beginners though, it's very soft soap, so try that only when you've made soap a couple of times. But this is a pretty good 3 oil recipe, and these are really good percentages: 45% of olive oil, 25% of coconut, and 30% of palm oil. And right here you can see how much of each I have. I'm using grams here because that's what we use here. So I have a 700 gram batch, and here you can see in pounds how much it is. And the important things here pretty much is just to know the amount of oils and fats you're using, because after that this calculator, and there are actually more calculators than just this one, it will give you the amount of lye that you need right here. So I needed 98.2 grams of lye, and I needed 266 grams of water. And that water needs to be as cold as you can, so because the lye will heat it anyway. And another important thing to know is the super fatting amount, or the extra fat, so to speak. In this recipe it is 6. You can choose that how much you want. The suggested range is between 5 and 8% of extra fat. This is needed in order to make the soap bar mild and not harsh. If you put, let's say 9 or 10% extra fat, then your soap is going to be pretty soft. So 5 to 8 is the recommended range. And this soap calculator calculates everything for you. All you need to do is just put your oils in there. And this particular soap calculator will also give you soap bar qualities. It will give you how hard your soap is compared to the suggested ranges, cleansingness, conditioning, bubbly, creamy, and then a couple of things that I don't really know what they are. But anyway, you can immediately see that if you want a hard soap, then obviously you can adjust your oils to have a high reading here. If you want a very cleansing soap, or if you want a very conditioning soap, and so forth. Before I've used Majestic Mountain Sage Light Calculator. It's very good as well, and I will be putting a link to that as well in the info box. But anyway, that was my recipe. Let's take a peek at my oils. They are melting slowly in there. Not much to go. You can try to break up these bigger pieces in here. Let's check out our lye. Whoa, that has come down a lot. 136. This means that I will probably lift it off from the water bath now, and instead I will be putting some more heat onto my oils, because I want them both to be at 120 degrees when I combine them. So I'll do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so my oils and my lye water are right now at about 120 degrees. And here is my pot with the oils, and I'm going to pour in the lye water and watch what happens. Pour carefully. Don't splash anything. It gets this honey-like look to it. And you want to rinse your lye container immediately with cold water and some dishwashing liquid, because as you can see, these little drops here, they look very innocent. They look like water. Someone might actually grab this container and touch it if they don't know that there's lye in it. So you really want to be very careful that nothing is dripping in there. It looks very innocent, but it's not. It's caustic. So make sure that you take appropriate measures and rinse that container immediately. And I also rinsed the plastic spoon as soon as I got that from my lye water. Immediately rinsed it off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put my stick blender in here now. And what you want to do is you want to keep it always underneath the liquid here. Let me put in some light in here. Maybe that will help you to see this better. And I'm going to do quick, sharp bursts. See what happens. It starts getting lighter immediately. What we're looking for is trace. It's like a pudding stage. It gets thicker and sort of like a pudding consistency, meaning that if you dribble, if I lift this and dribble some of it on the surface, you can see lasting impressions. But of course not yet. It takes a while to reach trace. It depends on your oils, your temperature, your stick blender, the fairies, and everything like that. It's really it's magic. Sometimes it takes a shorter time, sometimes longer. Quick, short burst, and every now and then use this as a huge spoon and make it smoother like that. Never use this when you're doing that, or you will splash yourself. And this is still burning. It's not safe yet. So wear your safety gear. Wear your safety gear as you're doing this. We're getting there. It's a little bit thicker again. definitely getting there. It's getting lighter and thicker and creamier. Yep, very close now. If you have fragrance oils, you want to pour them into your batch of soap with light trays, which we have right here. Or actually, do we? Let me take a little peek. Well, not exactly yet, but very soon. Because some fragrance oils tend to accelerate trays. It means that it makes this, when you pour them in, it makes this soap mass thicken very quickly, and then you might have trouble putting this in your mold. And that's why you always want to pour your fragrance oils at a thinner trays. Essential oils usually do not accelerate trays. Of course, some of them might, but usually, at least in my experience, they don't. But fragrance oils are synthetic oils, so they tend to do that. Okay, we're definitely getting trace here now. Let me show you. Yep, we're getting little impressions on the surface, so I'm going to add my tar oil right now. I'm very interested to see what happens, because soap making is chemistry and you never know. Let's see, oh, this is really dark. Okay, my soap is going to be brown. But you know, I could still add some wheatgrass into it. Let's see. Let's see what this does to my soap. I really hope it doesn't accelerate trace, but it gives a very nice tar smell, definitely. This is a very fresh smell because this has eucalyptus essential oil in it. Whoa, that's a strong scent. Very strong scent, definitely. Oh, I like the color. It's very brown. Very pretty color. I'm thinking maybe I should add the wheatgrass just as an added health benefit, because this hasn't really, this isn't too thick yet, so let me do that. Let's see what happens. It will give it a little bit of exfoliating power, at least. So I'm just adding a little bit at first. By the way, wheatgrass is super good for you. I eat it every day. You probably have seen me mention it in some of my videos. So I'm adding some wheatgrass for added health benefits here. It takes a while for me to get it all incorporated here, obviously, because it's powder. It'll get there. Wow, what an interesting scent we have here. It's a very fresh, kind of like a, it's pretty much a combination of tar and peppermint. And I'm doing this now. You shouldn't be doing this because it gives you air bubbles, but I want to mix all that wheatgrass really well. That's why I'm doing this. Oh, I love this. It looks like toffee, you know, like caramel. Maybe I should add a little bit more wheatgrass. Let's do that. A little bit more wheatgrass. This looks amazing. This soap really looks amazing. Okay, I need a clean spoon because I use this wheatgrass. So I'm going to add quite a bit. Let's do that. I'm so happy you're here sharing this weird experiment here with me. I've never used wheatgrass before in soap, but natural ingredients are always really good to use in soap. So you can use all kinds of natural ingredients. Go online and find out all the things, wonderful, beautiful things that you can find online about the natural ingredients you can use in your soap. And I'm smelling this, and it is a lovely smell, but I'm kind of wanting to have a little bit more eucalyptus in the smell. So that's why I'm I will probably add a little bit more eucalyptus oil. Okay, this is getting pretty thick now. I want to have some specks there, but I don't want it to be too specked. But this looks pretty good now. There's a bigger clump. Oh, lovely. I'm gonna put some drops of eucalyptus oil here. A little bit. This smell tends to fade quite a lot when it cures. So the smell that you're smelling here is not going to be the smell in the ready-made soap. Nice eucalyptus smell. Oh, this soap smells heavenly. And it's very thick trace now. You can easily see the impressions. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So natural. Tar and wheatgrass and all that stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm sorry, I know this is a horrible sound here. I really do apologize for this sound. But I need to take this off for just a bit. There we go. Because I need to, I'm showing you what I'm going to do now. Apologies. Any air bubbles. Okay, maybe I'll do it here. Okay, so it won't hurt your ears so much. Okay, this is ready to go now. Let me take a little whiff there. It's an interesting smell. Okay, actually I think I'm going to add a little bit more eucalyptus in there. Just in case, because I don't think it's a very strong smell yet, and I know that it gets lighter when it cures, so I just want it to have a really strong smell. Well, not too strong, you know, but a really kind of clear smell, let's put it this way. Oh, this looks so amazing. So I would like to eat this. It looks like caramel. Okay, we're done. I'm pulling my stick blender off the hook, and I do apologize for this noise again. Trying to make it as real as possible. This is very thick now. This is actually a little bit too thick. You should pour at a lighter trace, definitely. Putting this in the sink because this soap is still, it would burn you. So let me, I'm going to have to move the camera now. So apologies for that. Here we go. I'm hoping I can do this from this angle. It is getting pretty thick. I don't know how I can do this now. Oops. This can be a little tough now. If I spill anything, I'm not going to worry about that. I can't move this mold because it is so flimsy. So when it's full, I can't move it. Look at that color. I mean, this is incredible. Tar. Okay, I'm spilling some, but doesn't matter. There we go. Okay, how am I going to do this now? Like that. Okay, you probably haven't been able to see a lot. I apologize, but my kitchen is a little cramped. Okay, I'm doing just those 6. And the rest of them I'm pouring into my Pringles mold. Okay, you will not probably be able to see this. Let's see. It's not going to fill it by any means. Okay, then I have my scraper. I don't know how much you can see of this right now, but there's quite a bit of good soap in here, left in here still. If it spills, it doesn't matter because I've covered everything with newspapers that I'm going to just throw away once I'm done. So that's something I forgot to say at the beginning. Cover everything because as you can see, you can easily spill your soap. And like I said, this will still burn because it's not yet cured. want to have all the soap that you have. And once you're done, just wash all your utensils with lots of hot water and dishwashing liquid. There we go. I'm putting this away. Goodness. I love this soap. I'm definitely going to make this again. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, turning it a little, I'm going to put this in the corner, the Pringles mold, and then I'm going to do a little bit of dropping here. Just something like this, because I would like to get these to be pretty even. I'm going to take my spatula. Or actually, these are very natural kind of soaps, so it doesn't matter if they are a little rugged, you know. But just to make them a little bit more even, I'm just going to do a little bit of spatula work here. This silicone mold is very flimsy, that's why. Okay, this is not so big as the other ones, but it doesn't matter. The little ones have a right to live as well. Just trying to make them a little bit. It really doesn't matter if they are not so very even here. This is rugged, natural tar soap, so who cares? Oh man, I love this soap. Originally I thought that I wouldn't maybe, that this wouldn't be any favorite, but this really seems to be a very good. Has such a nice, earthly, fresh smell to it with the tar and the eucalyptus. Yeah, let it be that way. That's okay. These are natural soaps. And we love natural soaps. Just making sure they are all even. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cover these molds. This one I'm obviously need to cover with wax paper before I put my towels on, because if I put my towels on right now, then it will touch the soap. I'm going to cover these, and within a couple of hours they will probably go through gel phase. Maybe not these though, because gel phase means that your soap will get very dark, almost gel-like, and it gets really hot. And that's a part of the saponification process. And it doesn't matter if it happens or if it doesn't happen. But soap that goes through the gel phase, it's usually a little bit darker than soap that hasn't gone through gel phase. Usually soaps that are in deep molds go through this process of gel phase. But since mine is in these tiny cavities, they probably won't gel. My Pringles mold probably doesn't gel either. At least my soaps that I've done before in Pringles mold have not gelled. But there it is. But whether it gels or not doesn't really matter. It's still going to be a wonderful soap. So now I'm going to wait for 24 hours. I'm going to cover these, and I'm going to wait for 24 hours, and then I will do the unmolding. And I will take you with me to that unmolding. So I'll see you tomorrow. Now my soap has been in the molds for a little over 24 hours. And both of these molds went through the gel stage. I actually checked, and they were both gelling, which is okay. And they have a really nice deep tar smell. This silicone mold, the soap in it looks a little bit white. Now this is called soda ash. It's like a white powdery substance here on top of the soap. That's okay. That sometimes happens, and there are various theories online about white forms and where it comes from. But all we know is that it's completely harmless. Sometimes it happens to soap, and you can just cut it off or even wash it off with a wet finger. I did not get any soda ash in this one that is in the Pringles can, so my theory is that these were very, very tightly wrapped with wax paper. So I think that maybe they didn't get enough air or something in there. You can handle soap when you unmold it with bare hands, but I have pretty sensitive skin, so that's why I'm wearing a lighter glove now. Because this soap, while there's no lye in this anymore, it's now soap, but it's not cured yet, so it can be a little drying to your skin. And that's why I'm using one little glove here. So let me do the unmolding here. Let's pop out the first beauty here. My goodness, look at that color. That is such a beautiful green color. Really wonderful. A couple of air bubbles there, but you know what? They just give, in my opinion, this soap some character. Let's unmold another one. We have more soap, a little kind of air bubbly stuff going on in there. That's why it's important to not try to eliminate air bubbles. I'd put it this way. This one is beautiful as well, but a couple of air bubbles there. Take the next one. And this one doesn't seem to have anything. It's pretty nice. There we go. Second last one. This one has pretty big air bubble there. Yeah, it's really worth it to eliminate air bubbles, definitely. Last one. There we go. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to just cut the top off. But I'm trying to, let's see if I could actually do one. Let me put my mold away. And let's take one that doesn't matter if I ruin it. This one, because it has a big hole there. Because, you know, I don't know what the consistency of the soap is yet. That's why I have to be a little careful. Actually, I think I'm going to use my crinkle cutter. I like this crinkle cutter. It kind of cuts the soap with a crinkly surface. I also have a straight one, but I prefer this one. Let me see how I can do this now. Your soap should be very soft still at this point. Very nice. Like, it's like cutting butter. There we go. So that worked fine. I actually took a little bit more than I should have taken. This is a pretty thick chunk that I took off. But you know, this can still very well be used as soap. And this can always be given as a sample soap to someone who would like to try handmade soaps. So yeah, I'm going to do the rest of them later. Just in order to, let's get to the molding of this Pringles mold. Or I mean unmolding, of course. So let me take this off from here. If you get any oil, like you can see some oil here, that's okay. Sometimes a little oil seeps out from the soap when it's in the mold. And what comes to the Pringles mold, I just tend to rip them off. Some people actually reuse the Pringles molds to my knowledge, but I won't. I never do. Let me see. I usually just cut a little bit into there. And then I just kind of like rip it off. Let me see how I can do this. There we go. The surface of soap in Pringles mold is usually a little bit kind of like rugged, uneven. Let's see what we get. Yes, we do get the typical Pringles surface. It has to do with the soap reacting a little bit with the Pringles. Kind of, you know, this material here. But Pringles molds are absolutely fine to be used as molds. Let's see now. I need to get this off. You know what? I actually think I need a pair of scissors. So I'm just going to go and get some scissors. Here we go. Yeah. The first bar will be a little rugged anyway. But anyway, here is my soap log. Looks nice. And the smell is very, very much tar. So let me do some cutting for this too. I think I'm gonna cut the ends here first off. The ends are still good soap and you can definitely use them, but you know, you just want to get a nice even surface there. In here you can see that it's a little bit darker from the inside. That happens when it goes through gel stage, so it kind of sometimes the edges are not quite as how do I say, you know, dark as the inside. So anyway, let's start cutting this baby. There we go. Oh no, I meant this one. Okay, I'm going to use my crinkle cutter for this one as well. There we go. Nice round bar of soap. I actually think I need to do it this way. And of course what you can always do is you can turn this over a little bit and then crinkle cut, so you will get a different direction for your crinkle cut. Let me show you with this one. Like we have the crinkle cut this way here, but when I turn it, it's this way. So like from like this way, and then it's this way. Oh, there's an air bubble too. So if you're very careful about the how your soaps look, then you definitely want to get rid of the air bubbles. But I'm not too particular about those. There we go. Some more air bubbles there. Next time I use wheatgrass, I really need to add it in there with something else so that I don't have to pull my stick blender up and down from the from the mixture, because that really has given me a lot of air bubbles here. But this is still good soap, and I really couldn't care less about a couple air bubbles. The tar smell is very, very strong. It's kind of interesting because it was a very small bottle that I actually put in here, and it gave this strong a smell. I can really smell the eucalyptus in here, even though I added quite a bit of eucalyptus in here as well. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Yields me 2 more bars. Here's the other end. I'm gonna leave it as it is because this is kind of a funny looking end. And here we have our last one. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to do with these soaps now is I'm going to put them on a piece of wax paper onto somewhere that is dry and airy. And I'm going to place them like this on the wax paper. And I'm going to leave them there for about 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, they are ready to be used. So they need to go through the curing process first. That's why they need to stay there for about 4 weeks. The longer you let them stand there, the milder they will be, and also firmer, because they will be losing some water as they are drying and curing there. And I don't think I actually... I thought I had something to say, but I don't think I actually do. I was trying to remember something. But anyway, yeah, soap making is a lot of fun, and if you're interested in this, I'll be putting some links to websites where you can learn more about soap making, where you can calculate your lye if you want to make a recipe or something like that. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you learned something. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.